Hello, everyone. Today's main topic is teamwork skills. That's the fancy term in textbooks. But in a more down-to-earth, practical, and folksy way, today we're learning the skill to avoid breaking out in pimples when you go to work. Why pimples? Because today you're mad at this person, tomorrow you're annoyed at that one, the day after you hate someone else. It gets so heated that you break out in pimples. Too many pimples make you cranky, feeling ugly. And then you get even more irritated, continuing to resent this or that person. That's how our relationships with others work. If you don't know how to learn or handle it, going to work becomes hell. Today, I'll guide you through two simple steps to manage relationships effectively during work. I emphasize both steps are simple. The first step takes just 3 minutes to complete. Sounds fun, right? The second step, I've got a ready-made template. You just fill it in and it's solved. Ready? Let's jump into step one. The first step of teamwork skills based on my experience. Know what you want. When you join a group to work or study with others, you need to be aware and visualize what a happy group looks like. What do you expect when you participate in group activities, and what values, if violated, make you really upset or annoyed? You need to know these things, right? We must define what perfection looks like in a group and what misery feels like if something we value isn't met. This might sound abstract, but I'll explain slowly with an example. Imagine you're an office worker. Your daily tasks involve handling documents, paperwork, getting the boss's signature, and calling partners, stuff like that. Picture this. You work from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the workload is pretty heavy, quite tiring. Now, if you're in their shoes, you need to figure out what you want when you go to work, how you want others to respect you. You need to visualize this, and from there, we'll use it to handle relationships effectively in step two. In this scenario, let's say, as an office worker, I'm super busy. Sometimes I'm free as a bird. Other times I'm swamped. So I sat down and thought about it, and I realized there are three things I really want when I work. If these aren't met, with my hot temper, I'd probably break out in pimples and couldn't keep going. First, I don't want to be disturbed when I'm focused on something. I hate it, really. You should also know what you hate like this. When I'm working, stamping documents, typing, or doing something, please, no one bother me. I need focus. Let me be. That's my first want. Second, I don't want to be given last-minute tasks. Please assign me work at least 2 to 3 days in advance. If the deadline is 11 a.m. and you give me the task at 9 a.m., I can't handle it. It's super stressful. That's my second want. Third, during discussions or meetings, I want to be heard. I don't want to attend a meeting where I feel like I'm sidelined. I speak and someone interrupts, or my ideas are always brushed off. It's so frustrating. Like, why invite me to the meeting then? See, this is a typical teamwork scenario. You need to distinguish clearly. Teamwork isn't just what students imagine, like 3 to 4 people gathering to make a presentation. No, we're in teams everywhere. At a company, whether you like it or not, you interact and are a link in some group within a department. Even as an office worker, you're part of a team. So this office worker in a company, in a shared department, has these three things I really want. I've identified and written them down. Don't disturb me when I'm focused. Don't give me last-minute tasks. Listen to me when I contribute ideas. Clear, right? These are my top 3 priorities at work. Don't ever mess with these, or I'm done with step one. Now, have you finished your step one? If not, pause here. Think about it, then move to step two. This is crucial. Whether you have peace with others depends on knowing what you want. In step two, I'll show you how to make others respect what you like and want. When your wants are respected at work, that's a happy workplace. A happy team, right? Absolutely. At work, the two main issues that make you feel out of sync with your team are attitude, colleagues being late, sloppy, or rude, and differing viewpoints. In a group, different thoughts can clash, and some feel frustrated when unresolved. It revolves around these two things. So ask yourself what you want when you join a group. It directly addresses these issues. Think hard. What do you really want? What are your values in a group? Once you're ready, let's tackle step two. We're moving to part two after the critical step one, knowing what you want. Now in step two, based on your wants, will build a defensive barrier to safely navigate the workplace with colleagues and others. Grab a pen and paper and draw it yourself. You'll notice two key points from start to finish: compromise and cooperation. Focus on these two, and you can build a defensive barrier for peace at work. The compromise cooperation cycle might sound confusing, but don't rush. I'll break it down. Let's revisit what you wanted earlier. In the previous example, I said I don't want to be disturbed when focused. Here's a clear example. You're preparing a document to submit to the boss by 11 a.m. At 9 a.m., a colleague, let's call her Lucy, comes over and says, "Hey, are you free? Type these pages for me. I'm in a rush." It's like hot water poured on you, right? You're thinking, some people are always in a frenzy, and sometimes it's not even urgent, yet they bother me. Lucy just violated one of my sacred values. Should I compromise? Sometimes you should compromise, but with criteria. If Lucy looks desperate and really needs urgent help, say she'll be in trouble without it, okay, you can pause your work briefly to help. At work, it's give and take, right? We're human. If we want help from others someday, we must help when they need us. That's the first criterion. Second, is this person generally decent? If they're okay, you can help. Compromising is fine. Third, check yourself. Are you really too busy, or can you spare a few minutes? If you're not that pressed, it's a chance to build a good relationship. Compromise. But there are cases where you can't compromise. I'm joking when I say I'd refuse outright, but in real life, you need to be polite. To refuse coolly and earn respect, describe your current situation. Say, "Lucy, I'm swamped with this document. Due at noon. It's critical. Is your task urgent? If not, can I help you this afternoon?" Sounds reasonable and charming, right? Naturally, we help when asked, because we'll need their help someday. Plus, it's a shared workplace. The ultimate goal is collective success. You can't just focus on your tasks. That's hard to survive in an organization. We only get annoyed when someone bothers us too much or disrespects our time. Help, but on your terms, not abruptly. In this case, the best way is to explain your situation to gain sympathy. "Lucy, I'm drowning in this document. Due soon. Is it urgent? If not, let's do it at noon." Decent people will agree, cutting your troubles in half. I believe 5 out of 10 people will respect your rule. If they cooperate, great. But what if the other 5 don't? You might think, "Lucy, you're being stubborn. I don't like this." You're fuming inside, but outside, stay respectful. Use the stubborn strategy. Repeat your situation to gain more sympathy, but escalate it. Show your task is more urgent and your responsibility to prioritize it. Say, "Lucy, I'm going crazy with this document. It's not that I don't want to help, but it's super urgent, and I'm overwhelmed. Can we do it at noon?" You know how it is. After this, maybe 4 out of 5 will agree. You're firm but friendly. They'll cooperate. If the last one still doesn't budge, it's time to reassess this relationship. Should you be blunt? Whether you compromise or not, be direct. If compromising, say, "Lucy, I'll do it, but next time, please let me know earlier, or I'll get chewed out by the boss." Make her say yes to agree. If she doesn't ask, "Is that okay?" Get her verbal commitment. Next time she asks, you can say, "No, Lucy, I need to finish this. We talked about this. I'll take the heat if you're mad, but this affects my work." If not compromising, refuse outright. "Sorry, Lucy, I can't. I'm too swamped. If I help, my work will be late. I'm not refusing to help. I'll do it later, but now's tough." This way, no one can stay mad. If they push too hard, involve the boss. "Boss, Lucy often asks for help when I'm busy. I'm happy to assist, but she wants it done instantly, and it messes up my work. Can you talk to her? I need some control over my time." This approach is logical, right? String it together, and you'll apply it effortlessly in teamwork, reacting automatically with a script. Being proactive matters because you handle issues without emotional interference. You're prepared, not angry. Others, after failing to bother you repeatedly, will accept your true self and your rules. You remain helpful, valuable, but with a voice and a protective barrier to work smoothly. That's the beauty of teamwork. What if the interrupter is your boss? Use the same script, but be more diplomatic. Highlight the impact of their interruption. "Boss, if I do this now, I'll pause the document and it might be late. Can I delay it a bit?" This puts the decision back on them, showing the consequences. You can't demand too much as an employee. A reasonable balance is happiness enough. This example was slow, but the other wants, like no last-minute tasks, follow the same script. Sit down, think, and you'll create many great scripts. Memorize them, and handling issues is easy. The template is ready to fill in. If you're too lazy, it's your choice. Spend a few minutes for a safe, effective teamwork script, or endure frustration and unfairness at work. I'd give more examples, but I fear it'd stifle your thinking. Education that kills learners' creativity is worthless. A copy-paste education. So I provide one example as a guide, a compass for your own situations. When you build a defense map for something you value, you can create more. You won't achieve anything without laying the first stone. If I gave 10 examples and you just watched, two things happen. I fail as a teacher by making you passive, and your life stays unchanged because information isn't applied. So, this is a rare case where I give one example and leave the rest to you. I believe those who study this lecture carefully and truly want to improve will find it easy. Everything we fill in that paper is already in our hearts, our desires. Just pull it out and use it. Thank you for listening. Goodbye and see you in the next Business Lessons episode.